Hello, and welcome to this edition of Monday Morning Synthesis. Just kidding. It's still Sunday night synthesis, and it may be Sunday night for just a little bit longer, but it's going to be Monday morning soon. Um, any case, that's okay. I have Monday off tomorrow. In any case, thank you for your feedback from last episode's call. I got a few responses and got some requests to hear more about like Formant synthesis or something about Formant synthesis. Got a request for granular synthesis. Way back there was a request for some FFT. All these things people are looking to do in pure data. With the Formant synthesis, I've done it in other software, and I've just started looking at it in pure data, and I've had success. So we'll have a topic on that soon. But tonight I'm going to do just a little tidbit on it of some cool things that I found. But I want to wait a little bit before I'm prepared to tackle the topic as a main thing. But granular will be coming up then. I did plenty of that in C sound, and now I need to translate it to pure data. The FFT, same type of thing, where I've used other software to perform FFTs, but doing it in pure data is a different beast, and so I'll have to look into that as time goes on. But all these things I can do in bits and pieces as we go through Sunday night synthesis. For learning synthesis with pure data, I've overhauled LWM Rack. I've made it sleeker, more like an actual Eurorack system, and making basically smaller, simpler modules that then you can pop into place and patch them all sorts of different ways. But it's going to be easier to use, and at the same time it's going to look nicer and look more like a Eurorack system. And I've just about finished overhauling all the modules. I have a couple more to go, and then I'll put that episode out so you can see the new remade LWM Rack, and I can go on from there, because you could explore lots of topics by making a module on it for LWM Rack, and then you guys can apply that to that same type of patching to whatever it is that you are involved in making. Also had a couple viewers who are interested in Raspberry Pi. My wife has been doing a lot with Arduinos and all sorts of making stuff. You should check out her channel. It's her name's Liza Seigido, spelled Seigido. She's also in the featured channels list on my channel, so you can check her out that way too. And she's done some videos on some things she's made, and she got me a Raspberry Pi like over a year ago, and I just haven't gotten around to taking it out and working with it. And so I think I'm going to do that now, because people are asking for it. Maybe not so much the Raspberry Pi stuff, but they want to know about patches and stuff that they would be able to use in it. And, of course you could apply a lot of the patches I make to that. Much of what I make is meant to be driven by MIDI synthesizers, or MIDI controllers. And so it's a synthesizer that works off of that. But we could explore a lot of things as we go, and I'd like you guys to keep using the comment area as a way to communicate with me and other people. If there's some things you're developing and you want some people to know about it, leave a comment there. As long as it's relevant to synthesis, electronic music, and what we do, you can certainly post on it and I'll approve it. Just keep it positive. But definitely I'd like us to communicate more as like a community, share ideas, because that's how you learn. All right, anything else? Is there anything else I was going to announce? I think that's it. So anyway, let's have a little fun with some harmonics and formants here. And you might get some ideas about stuff to make with this. Okay, I want to start off by just notifying you of, I guess, some changes in current events at the channel here. Um, YouTube has a new look now, if you opt in to check it out, and I like it. I put it on the dark look because it's just better for my vision and everything. Subscribers, $4.99. One more, we're at the 500. So anyway, as usual, the uploads playlist is at the top. Learning synthesis with pure data is here. Just an update on this. What I'm going to be doing is I'm overhauling LWM Rack to try and make it sleeker and slimmer and just easier to use, but still giving you a lot of flexibility. And I've had a lot of success with that. I'm actually kind of excited about it. I'm reinvigorated to continue on with that. So Series 2 of Learning Synthesis, synthesis with pure data, will be starting up again soon. I just have one or two more modules to make, and I'll be ready to put out a video again to show you the sleeker, more Eurorack-like LWM rack. So anyway, I put the pure data patches in its own playlist again. Just took it out of here, so this will be where I put finished patches. I have plenty of patches that I've made that I haven't made videos for yet, and I should get them up. So that'll be coming too. Learning electronic music production with reason is still going on, but I will be doing a little more with PD, more emphasis on that, although I'll keep this going too. And of course, my weekly thing, Sunday Night Synthesis, right down here. Most of these playlists are in order of oldest to newest, so people can start from the beginning with learning synthesis with pure data. Pure data patches is newest to oldest. As I add new things, they'll come up here in the beginning. And the reason one, of course, I have first one, second, third. New ones will get added towards the end. So when people just come across the channel for the first time, you know, they can start from the beginning. And when they call up a playlist to play all or something, it starts from the beginning for them. So people that are already at a certain position in the playlist, remember you can click this and get the whole playlist and start wherever you left off. So anyway, this is Sunday Night Synthesis. I think this, Series 2, Episode 10. And in fact, this is going to really be Monday morning synthesis because I'm late. But let's get to the topic tonight. One of my viewers did mention something about wanting to know more about formants and formant synthesis. And I'm basically preparing something bigger on it. But I wanted to show you some things that I found, along the way. Since this is a weekly series, I don't have to present a whole topic and make it complete. It's something that I'm just sharing with you on a weekly basis. So I'm just going to give you a little bit tonight. This is something where I'm using the rpole object in pure data to create harmonics, some of which have properties of formants. And basically I'm exploring all these filters in pure data, and I'll be patching and trying to put some things together as we go, to give you some more on formants and stuff. But I like to keep the topics going, so there'll also be granular synthesis and other things along the way. But anyway, let's look at this. Here we have the rpole object here at the bottom. It's going through this amplifier that's multiplying it by 0.1. This is just to make sure the output's not too loud. I did some sound checking before starting this, and I'm basically making sure I don't blast your ears and stuff. This rpole can put out some pretty strong stuff depending on how you measure your signals going in. But this is safe, so we're good. Now, what we have going into rpole are two different signals from oscillators. Just ignore this for now. Just think of it as, okay, we have two sine wave oscillators going into rpole. And if you go to the help file for rpole, what it is it's a single pole filter based on this algorithm here, where the signal comes in here and the coefficient comes in here. And it shows you what the algorithm is, and a lot of it is just matter of fact, so it doesn't really give you a lot on how to use it. You gotta know to begin with. And the way I've been going about it is, yeah, look at some things online, and then I also play a bit. And so I'm going to be giving you not so much an overview on rpole, but one use I've found for it that is good, I think, and effective for music making. Basically, the oscillator on the right is getting frequency information here from this number box. And then this number box is hooked up to this multiplier here, where it gets multiplied by the number that I enter up here. And this is a trigger bang float so that I can change the number up here and it automatically multiplies and goes through. This is just to make sure that it continues to calculate whether I use this or this to change values. So this oscillator is basically oscillating at a frequency higher than the frequency I set here. This is going into the coefficient, this is going into the signal inlet, and the higher frequency is going into the signal inlet. Now, I have a slider over here. On this side, it's basically the PAC F50 and lines are just to make the changing of the slider smooth. Basically, let me not cover things up. There we go. Basically, as I move this slider and it affects these amplifiers here, it's basically going to move smoothly at the audio rate. Otherwise, you'd get artifacts or snaps in the signal. So that's all these are. But basically, it puts out a number ranging 0 to 1 to this side, and then this side it puts out the inverse. When you put a slider whose range is 0 to 1 in through the left inlet of swap, and you put the creation argument 1, basically you can then hook that up to a minus here, so the 1 goes out the left outlet, the number coming in goes out the right outlet, so you always get the inverse. And so the inverse goes to the opposite side. So basically what I'm doing is, like if this oscillator is at 1, well, if this oscillator is at 1, then this one will be at 0. And then if I put the 0 here, then this oscillator is 0, and this one becomes 1. So this is set up the way that they appear. The oscillator on the left, the oscillator on the right. I found it advantageous to keep it somewhere right here, mostly to the right. And you'll hear in a minute why. Okay, so those are the two signal chains, and this is like a balancer, balancing left or right, like how much amplitude is going to the left or to the right, and it controls their respective loudness, well, shall we say amplitude, going into rpole. And then out of rpole I just multiply it by 0.1 so that I don't blast your ears. Okay, so that's that. Now, let's do this. I'm going to turn on audio. Let me just start here with 1 as a setting, so we have 440 on both sides. Turn on DSP. There we go. Not too loud. So we have 440 on both sides, and we really hear 440. It's has a little more harmonic content than a single oscillator would have, since this is a sine wave. This sounds almost like a triangle wave. If I move this to this side, we're just hearing this oscillator signal going through. This is cut off, so we hear no generation of harmonic material. So that's an A440 sine tone. When I move it to this side, the other oscillator is contributing to it, And what we're really hearing is some more brightness, but we can really enrich in the harmonic spectrum when we start using this. And, for example, I'm going to rotate this up to 2. Or how about I type it in? 2. And what you hear there is a little bit of an 880 in there. And it's sounding kind of like a strong harmonic. Let's put it to 3. Then to 4. 5. 6. We're going up the harmonic overtone series, basically. So, I'm going to go to a lower frequency here. How about 110? 2 octaves lower. Now, when you hear that right away, you kind of hear, ooh, it's almost like a type of almost vowel sound. And so we're starting to hear some harmonics that sound Formant-like. And over here, you see, we're getting this frequency. And then when I move it to this side, so we're in between the two is a sweet area. If it's too far this way, you don't hear anything. You need a little bit of that other oscillator coming through. But it sounds richer right around there. So, let's try a lower frequency. How about 55? So that's some pretty neat sounds right there. Here, let me move this over a little bit more. Get rid of that higher tone there. So you hear this has some uses. Get some interesting timbres here. So I'm going to try something now. I'm going to turn off DSP as I do this. I'm going to try something here. What I'm going to do, I had this set up to give you a demonstration. But what I'm going to do now is just have a little fun. See what happens when I do this. I'm going to take this out because I'm going to change things to the audio rate here, making this a star tilde. We're still multiplying the same values, but things will be coming out at the audio rate. You can send frequency signal to oscillators at the audio rate. And the reason being is I'm going to try to oscillate these guys a little bit here. What happens, my ranges here that are useful, maybe 2 to 10. So I'm going to remember that. And then on this side we get what's over here. But I'm not going to change that yet. Let's just make this an audio signal directly. And so we can go in here like that, and then here like this. Okay, but on this side I'm going to put an oscillator. And I'm going to make it a slower oscillator. Let's make it something that oscillates once every 4 seconds. So 0.25 is its frequency. Now the range is normally between -1 and 1. So I got to multiply that out. And I want it to be like 2 to 8, so let's do times 4. Well, hold on here. I'm going to do plus tilde 1. So now it's oscillating from 0 to 2. Multiply it by 4. It's 0 to 8. Let's add another 2 to it. And now it should be 2 to 10. That should be all right. Okay. Now I'm going to turn on DSP. It should be running already. I have to put this number through. I put them both in the same side, so we're not hearing anything. This goes here because it gets multiplied. That's nice. Here, I think I could turn this up to about 3. There we go. Wow. It almost sounds like a delay in there. Now let's do something else here with this value. I'm going to set up an oscillator. At the same rate. Maybe I could use the same one. Yeah, and now the range. Plus 1 makes it 0 to 2. Times 220. Or how about times 110? So now its range will be 0 to 220 plus 220. So now its range is 220 to 440. Get rid of that. Can't go into a number box with this. Oh. I can drop out the signal now. Oh, that's nice. That's pretty cool. Let me see something. I'm going to hit some phase into these two oscillators. Make sure they're in phase. This might wipe out that delay. No, it didn't. Cool. I like that. So anyway, now that you've seen this video, I just saved this patch, but it's simple enough that you could build the same patch from watching the video. But let's see about this oscillator. Let's change its values. This is once every 4 seconds. Let's try 0.5 once every 2 seconds. Now look at this. Frequency 110, which lines up with 55, 110, 220, 440, the octaves. I mean, this is essentially an A. So it lines up and it sounds really kind of locked in. Let's try 440. About 880. 1760. Alright, well that's enough of that. Anyway, you see some ideas there for stuff you can make and doodle with. And I think that'll be about it for this week's Sunday Night Synthesis. I hope you enjoyed it and got some inspiration of stuff to try. I'll see ya.